Welcome back to another lesson at Masterclass. In the previous lesson, we learned about auto cue and manually setting a cue point over an XDJ. In this lesson, we'll be understanding how to set a cue point and manage your starting points in case you do not have a DJing controller or you just use a laptop, primarily your DJing software for managing your cue points. In this lesson, we'll be using Recordbox 6. So now I have Recordbox 6 opened right here on my screen. Let's have a look at how to manage your starting points or the cue points of each and every track that you load onto your DJing software. So on my left deck, I have a track loaded and you can see that there's a cue and a play button right here. The simple step goes on for even the DJing software, but in order to make them a little more handy, I've assigned the keyboard shortcuts, which is A for my cue and Z for the play. This is for the left deck. Whereas on the other hand, I have another track loaded on the deck B, which has a shortcut assigned H for the cue, N for the play. So now, since we do not have a manual jog wheel here and it becomes a little more difficult for us to navigate without any hardware, we can have a look at the visuals here. You can zoom into the visuals by scrolling in and scrolling out. So unlike the jog wheel here, we have the visuals for us to navigate from one point to another. Now the visuals give us a very clear understanding of where the beat starts. Now you just have to lock it in and then press the cue button, which is A. So this can be shown on the screen by pressing the play and pressing the cue, for which I have the shortcut Z for play and A for my cue, and respectively N for the play and H for the right for the cue of the right deck. Now setting a cue point is as simple as what we did in the previous lesson, which was pressing the pause button and then navigating through and finally pressing your cue button once again. Let's give it a try. So now I pressed the pause button, but you can notice that the pause that I pressed was a little off than the actual beat. For that, I'll be navigating it through right at the beat and then pressing my cue button or the shortcut for cue, which is A. Now you can notice that I set a cue point not at the very first beat, but after leaving a few bars from my very first beat. Now you must be wondering, how did I set the keyboard shortcuts in such a way which made it very handy for me to make the keyboard of my laptop or the computer to work as a hardware for me? It is as simple as opening the settings menu, selecting the keyboard, and then browsing through the deck 1 and deck 2. So if I open the deck 1, you'll notice that the play pause has a shortcut assigned, or it is key mapped to the Z button, and the cue button has been mapped to A button. Similarly, I've also assigned it to the deck 2, which has the play pause button as N and the cue button as H. This makes it very handy for me to perform various functions which a DJing hardware could do simply by using the keyboard of my laptop. By mapping your keyboard buttons to various functions of the DJing software helps you create an edge of using the keyboard of your laptop as a DJing controller or a DJing hardware. This can not only just be assigned for the play pause or the cue button, but various other functions such as assigning hot cues, memory cues, navigating the call button and the loop button. Now that we know how to set the accurate starting point to each and every track that we load into our software or the CDJ or the XDJ, we are ready to proceed to the next step, that is beat matching.